she won't like dig me the knife.
He'd pick up little kids like he was trying to help them. But then he'd anally rape them.
He want to take like a 14 years old boy. He want to take him to his place, not by asking, by force.
He was forced Abdul to fuck him, and the children was like almost like a 12, 13 years old.
That's how he used to touch us.
When he raped me, he was holding a knife. At first he wasn't, but then he took it out.
He raped my friend. He pooped in his mouth and he was very happy.
What you just heard was just a small taste. You're about to find out more. We're talking about drugs, violence, sadism, pedophilia, and other perversions that the person in question took pleasure in. And all of this concerns one single person, an anti-cultist named Jakub Jahl. But let's take it from the beginning. Right now, we are in Tanzania. For 14 days, we've been here filming an investigative documentary about Jakub Jahl, a man who was supposedly here to help the local children. But instead, what he left behind are destroyed lives, ruined centers, and dozens of stories full of pain.
We've spoken to over 100 people. We've visited villages, homes, schools, government offices, and places where Jakub Jahl spent his time, and where, according to eyewitnesses, he did things that can only be called atrocities. We spoke with a 14-year-old girl who was repeatedly and brutally raped, and she was only 10 years old at the time.
We heard similar detailed accounts of rape from people like Ramadan, Modeste, and others. Similarly, dozens of people have independently confirmed to us that Jakub Jahl paid boys for sex in Tanzania and taught children how to be gay.
We also talked to the children he himself promoted on social media. For example, Juma and Arjuni. The children themselves described to us that Jahl would lock himself in a room with them while naked, where he would massage them, grope them, inject them with what he claimed was medicine, and force them into other absolutely perverted practices. Some of these practices were confirmed to us by their own parents, and believe me, what they described to us is absolutely appalling.
And that's not all. We have videos, written testimonies, and we have an official report from the Social Welfare Office. The police in Moshi have an entire file on Jakub Jahl. The immigration office confirmed to us that if Jakub Jahl hadn't left the country, he would likely be in jail today.
But when we released the first documentary, where volunteers, eyewitnesses from Africa, and a sponsor from Slovakia spoke out, Jakub Jahl began threatening us with lawsuits. He claimed that none of it was true, that those people made it all up because they had barely had any experience with him. So now you'll see for yourselves what barely had any experience with him really means.
At the moment, Jakub Jahl is on social media, bragging about filing criminal complaints and lawsuits. But what does that actually mean? Is he planning to sue the hundreds of Africans whose lives he has demonstrably destroyed? Or is he just trying to intimidate the people who are telling the truth about him?
We are standing in the Nature and Skills Center, a place that used to help children long before Jakub Jahl ever came here. People like Teresa, Ramadan, Bob, and many others used to work here.
But today, all that's left are empty walls and shattered dreams. And according to witness testimonies, Jakub Jahl is the one behind their destruction. Now, you will hear these first accounts for yourselves. They are the stories of the people who worked here and of the children who still remember it all.
I met Jakub when I was working in Nature and Skills. He was coming from Dar es Salaam with 2 kids. The one called Abdul and another one is Exaudi. And he told us he's looking for the center for the to keep those kids. And we tell him that we have the center, you can take them to the center. So I take the kids to the center. After there, it was our starting point to work with him because he told us he is here to help the center, to help the kids. So when we told him that we had the center, he told us that he's gonna help us.
Just so you understand, we're now going to the first orphanage that Tatiana spoke about, which in reality wasn't an orphanage at all. It's the very first place that was promoted by the Czech-Slovak Africa project led by Jakub Jahl. And in fact, it was a scam.
When I found out that the project he had been promoting, by then it had already been 2 years, was not a real project as it was supposed to be, and that those children didn't even live there. It was simply a community center where kids would just gather and play. And y'all knew it. We couldn't. We had no way of knowing it wasn't what it claimed to be, that children just normally gathered and played like that, because it was a big fenced-in center.
Oh. Hello. Say hi. It's outside the city. Things already look different here than in the city. That's that logo.
This is it.
These are the places we know from videos.
When Jakub showed up for the first time, he stayed here. At first he seemed like a good guy, but then we started noticing some small things, and then we really saw what he was about. After keeping an eye on him, we found out he was using marijuana. Then he started getting involved in all sorts of shady stuff, and sometimes he'd act all wrong and go off the rails.
Jakub is very bad man. I went to the orphanage, he was with the children, he was helping nothing. Only money was collected to the people there in Czech Republic. It was used for drugs and chewing mirror, something like that. And also was given to the young people, young boys, to fuck him. So because here people have a really hard situation of their life, so he was tricked because of his money. And when I asked him, he said get the money from the stupid Muzungu in the Czech Republic.
He didn't spend a lot of time with kids, but what he need is all photos and videos. And within a time, you see on Facebook, he's already sending this one, he needs this one, he needs this. Even sometimes, even some things which we didn't ask, we see him that he's already writing that this kid, they need this and this and this, while we didn't tell him that this kid, they need this and this and this. So by that time, because we respect him because of his money, we didn't ask him anything.
He just needed to film some videos with children to get money from people, because having adorable African kids in a video who are hungry and asking for food, that touches every good person's heart. And he knew how to exploit that enormously.
It will help us even if you send 100 crowns. But of course, 500 crowns is great, and 1,000 is the best. If you are members of parliament or some rich people, you can certainly send more. We would be very grateful to you.
But even if you contribute 100 or 2 crowns, which some people do, if everyone would contribute in such a way...
You can send euros as well. 5 euros is great. But, of course, 50 is even better. But, of course, 50 is even better.
I look forward to having volunteers. It means further progress. It means more work, more money, more money.
Every day when I have a free moment, I write to my friends and acquaintances on Facebook and always ask them, please, please, please.
But, of course, 50 is even better.
But 1,000 is the best.
Here, they used it as a class. You see, it was just like a class, but you can see now, nothing.
Wow.
Now you can see it is nothing. It was used like a class. You see? It was used like a class, but it is nothing. So it means that there is nothing is going on here.
What are you writing, David?
I'm texting, communicating with Tanya.
Oh, are you texting her that we're here?
Yeah.
What does she say about that?
Well, she says this is great. And she's actually advising us to connect with the people who are still here, because some of them might really remember, because what he did here was really insane.
That guy didn't even pay rent, but acted like he did, showing off like he's got money. People thought he was. But me, I was hustling, doing whatever I could, and I was the one actually paying the rent. He lied, kept fooling those white people. But in the end, who really paid? Me. I had to plan carefully so I could cover rent and still support my people. But when they came around, they chased my people off, messed things up, and I had to take care of everything by myself. Turns out it was all lies, and I ended up stuck living a tough life. Yeah, kids were even kicked out of school, and sometimes went hungry. Some days I had no money at all, but I still worked and managed to pay something the same day. And sometimes the kids would get sent back from school. The kids could stay in school because I pay the school fees little by little. Me, alone.
There is one of the children which is called Abdul, he's come from the Dar es Salaam. He was forced Abdul to fuck him. And the children was like almost like a 12, 13 years old. Was really 12? Yeah, 12 years old. Yeah, and these children is get from the Dar es Salaam to bring him to Moshi. And these children, after when he teach them that behavior, he went to the school. That children went to the school was do some bad things to the other children, which is very bad. He's learning from the Jakub as well.
Later on, we take Abdul and Exaud, the kids from Dar es Salaam, we take them to school. Abdul, he was starting to show the behavior of homosexual. So we punish him about that bad behavior and asking him, where did you get this behavior? And he told that Jacobo, he was teaching them about that. We was not sure that Jacobo can do that. We was trying to ask another kid, which is Exaudi. And Exaudi, he told us the same thing like Abdul told us. After there, after Abdul and Exaudi starting school, starting to go to primary school, we get a lot of case from their teachers from their school that Abdul is doing homosexual. We was trying to go there at the school and asking some of the kids, and they told us that it's true that Abdul, he is doing this one. It is more than 3 times Abdul, the teacher, they don't want Abdul to come to that school again.
I saw the marijuana, as well as homosexual behavior. I didn't see him directly showing them how to smoke, but they started smoking. He was locking himself in this room with them. We know he locked himself in there with the kids. Abdul began to exhibit homosexual behavior. That's why the teachers called the parents every day. Every day we had to go to school because Abdul did something.
She says that for herself, she didn't see direct that Jacobo told them. But Jacobo used most times to stay with them in that room. That one. That last room there is where he was staying there. And later on, when Abdul was at school, starting to show the bad behavior in school. After those times spending time with Jacobo here, starting to show the bad behavior at school. He was like raping the other guys and something like that. He was showing the habit of involving in sex matters.
Friends, if there is one thing that truly shocked me here in this place where we are right now, it is this. Because Teresa, who we interviewed for almost 20 minutes now, told us that this is the very room he would go into with Abdul or Exaudi, lock the door, no one else was allowed in, and he'd be in there alone with them. It makes me really, really sick. This is just awful. It's truly horrible. And when I think back to our conversations with Bob, with Joseph, the people who spent time here, who were just here, who worked here, and then Jacob came in, and he just ruined everything. He destroyed the relationships between people. That's awful. The way he treated them, as Teresa describes it to us. And to think that someone can just come in here like that and say, yeah, I'm here to help you. And then he's just taking pictures and videos of everything. Then he just gets money, does God knows what with that money. And he won't even tell the people here how much money the checks actually sent him. I mean, he was actually making money off their misery.
He used to put photos in his videos, the ones that are just his stupid face and a bunch of bullshit. But here we find out how he took them. In what way? Somewhere he said he was forbidden to film or take pictures, and he did it anyway. Now we can see. I don't know exactly where it was, but it's possible that the logo of the Czech Pirates Party was right here, because it was round, there's still a bit of black paint left, but I can guess that. We can look at the photos and compare, see if the Pirates logo was here, or somewhere else. Well, I have a question for the Pirates Party. Did you guys know what he was doing here? Is that what you decided to support? This monster? This animal? This snake who profits off of people's misery, or did he trick you too?
One day, Jacobo, he was wanting to go with the kids to the swimming pool, but he told us he wanted to go himself with only 5 kids, all are men, and said, no. Why you want to go with these kids without us? No, I don't have much money to pay for this and this and this. And tell Jacob that this is not true. If you don't have the money, we can start to walk. Then when we are coming back from the swimming, we can take a transport. there is no problem because it's a morning right now. Okay. He said that, okay, I can go with one of you. I go with him there. When we was at that place of swimming pool, he was wanting to go to the changing room and tell him that I should go with you and say that I want to go by myself. And I tell him that if you want to go by yourself, there is no need for these kids to change the clothes. They can swim with those clothes. It was like 3 minutes of conversation until he understand that I don't want him to go to the changing room. The kids, they change, they swim, but there is no good communication between me and him from there until we go back to the center. Real bad.
So far, you've heard testimonies from adults, but now you'll hear stories from the children themselves, like this boy and girl from the Nature and Skills Center. These and other children still remember Jakub very well, even after all these years. When they saw his photograph, they recognized him immediately, saying, Jakobo, but their reactions were deeply unsettling and varied. Sometimes they smiled nervously, sometimes they fidgeted, looked away, or froze. It's clear that these kids went through immense stress, and it's very hard for them to talk about it. A child often doesn't even fully understand what happened to them and can't describe it, but their body remembers. Sometimes, what they can't put into words is revealed through their behavior. And if even adults were afraid to testify, how hard must it be for a child?
So, we're in the village where the first orphanage was. This is already our third time here today, and we're asking people around if they know Jakub. We just filmed the first testimony. A bunch of kids showed up again.
Do you know this guy? Dit is almost Louis, okay.
They're really affectionate, friendly kids. So we're here to find out if the kids know Jakub. And some of them actually do. So now we're going to start filming with the kids.
So you know him, right?
He says yes.
Where did you know him, and where did you see him?
He used to hang around our place. He used to sleep there.
Who did he sleep with? Who did he sleep with?
With the kids.
With kids?
He were coming to sleep with kids.
Were you there at the center?
Okay, well, it's one of the kids who were there in the orphanage.
Were there times when he spent time alone with those boys?
Yes.
Did you ever see him touch Abdullah in some way, inappropriately?
Yes.
He says yes.
How did he touch? Was it inappropriately intimate in any way?
He touched him here and here, all over.
Can you describe what he did when he was acting in a bad way? What exactly did he do?
That's how he used to touch us. Here he was pricking us with sharp things.
He was pricking you with something sharp? So what was he doing? Was he injecting you with needles? What kind of needles?
The small ones.
The small ones?
One day I felt terrible. It's when I saw him smoking weed. Near him, there were syringes. I don't know what those syringes were for.
Was he carrying them around, or where did he put them?
Yeah, he had them in a bag when he was going somewhere. Sometimes I found them open. I didn't see anyone use them though.
Sometimes he saw these syringes he was carrying on his bag when he goes somewhere. And then sometimes, some of them he found that they were already opened. But he didn't see where these open syringes were used.
Are there other children you know who also had contact with Jakub, or whom he was around frequently? Can you show them?
That one over there. She was born thin.
Do you think he likes kids?
No.
Did you ever see him maybe take children aside? Did you ever see him take, like, boys aside somewhere private?
Yes, he was only picking boys.
And what did he do with them there?
He was with them. He took a bag and they went together. He took them inside.
And when they came out, how did they look? Were they scared, happy, or were they dazed?
Usually, they weren't happy. The kids were quiet, didn't say much.
What we found out here is honestly shocking. It's just brutal. But I just want to explain how this whole thing came about. We were interviewing an older man here, and I was holding a photo when a boy came up to me. On his own, we hadn't said a word. He pointed at the picture and said, Jakobo. And right after we finished the interview with that man, we went straight to the kid and asked him what he knew about Jakub.
And you already saw that part on camera. But what I want to say is, we learned from that boy that Jakub took some of the boys into a room privately. He had a backpack with him, and he would give them injections, telling them it was some kind of medicine.
And at first, I wanted to make sure myself. I thought, okay, maybe he really was giving them some kind of medicine. So I asked, how often? Because if it were some vaccine or something, even that should be given by qualified doctors.
That kind of thing should be given to everyone. And most importantly, by doctors, not secretly in a room, and not just to those boys we've been hearing about.
Exactly. And just a few days ago, we were with Teresa at the Nature and Skills Center, which is basically shut down now. And there was a boy wearing a little cap. You actually see him in the documentary too. So he was the first to tell us that he saw some syringes with Jakub, but he didn't tell us anything more, like where exactly or who he was injecting.
He said he was scared of him after that.
But what these kids just told us now, it's really shocking.
Because we thought maybe it was drugs and that he was injecting himself. But these kids just explained that he was injecting them, and only the boys. In secret, in a separate room where no one else was allowed.
What the users of those syringes to the kids, and he mentioned some of the kids who has been syringed by him. And he was telling them that this is medicine. Is he a doctor to treat the kids or to give them cure? Can you ask that question? What was the mission behind?
Did you ever see him naked?
Have you seen him naked? Or just wearing underwear?
Yes,
Was it at night or during the day?
at night.
How was he dressed? No shirt or no pants? Was he exposing anything private?
He only had his upper clothes on, only top, but nothing on the bottom.
He said that the moment he saw him naked, he had this upper clothes, but downward there was no clothes.
Jakub used to come over at night, and that's when I heard Jakub was abusing the kids at 3 o'clock in the morning. Then I found out he was doing homosexual and molestation to children over there. That's why I didn't allow my own kids to stay with him, because I feared that he might also rape them at night.
Did he ever yell at you?
He says yes.
Really?
Yes.
He scolded you. For what?
When we were doing something, he'd scold us.
Like what? Were you doing something wrong?
If we hit people, he'd beat us with his fists.
If you did what?
If we hit,
If you hit?
with a ball,
With a ball.
When they were playing and sometimes maybe the ball goes to hit someone, Jakub was running to them like he said, "Wanapiga coins."
How did he beat you?
he hit us on the head.
He said that we were like hitting them like this.
Can you show us how the man used to beat you? Don't actually hit this kid. Just show us.
He used to beat us like this.
Like that.
He was just slap them and like shout fuck for the children. What is not good, and those children is still a children. That was not good. He was like very angry, very very angry.
Are you afraid of Jakub or are you not afraid of him?
I'm afraid.
Why?
Why?
Because he had bad behavior. He smoked weed.
Did you see him being aggressive?
Yes.
And can you describe it in more detail? What he was doing?
When he spoke, he hit stuff, like desk or bed, just slamming things.
When he was talking, he was like beating stuffs, like desks or beds or something like that. Was when he was furious or aggressive, was beating like this, just like this.
What exactly was he doing? Can you show us?
He would bang and throw utensils like this.
Can you describe how you felt when he was doing that?
I didn't like it.
You said that he was not liking that situation.
Did you ever see him hit a child?
Yes.
Yes, he saw.
Who did he hit that you remember?
I remember he hit Juma.
For what? For what?
Why? What did Juma do?
I just remember he was hitting him. And the other time because the kid wet his pants.
What did you do when that happened? Did you run away or just watch?
I stayed far away from him.
What would you say to Jakub now if he tried to come back?
I don't know. I don't want him here.
He said that I don't want him anymore.
So when he got angry, what did he usually do?
He'd go into the room, take a syringe, and poke himself.
He did it to himself on his hand? Can you show how he did it?
Yes, he'd poke himself like this.
After poking himself like that, how did he behave?
The anger would go down. He'd relax.
I saw Juma, she's not good because his appearance feels like he's very fearful kid, and when you ask him something, he just thinking like, she didn't fear. She looks like someone who doesn't have any confidence again.
When I took them to the school where they are, they were showing that they were mistreated. Okay, they were mistreated, but I can't say exactly that how they were mistreated because they are too young even to say what they have been, how they were treated, and how the Jakub and whatever they were doing with them.
Did he do something when someone peed? Did he hit him?
Yes.
Were you beaten?
Yes.
Did he beat you because you peed?
Yes, it was me.
How did you feel when he beat you?
Very bad.
Did Jakub ever give you a massage like that?
Yes, he did.
How often?
Many times.
When he gave you a massage, did he hug you?
Yes.
Did he hug you and give you a massage?
Yes.
Can you show where he gave you a massage?
It is a very horrible experience, and I started to understand that there is something. I think the kids are very young, but I think when they grow and get confident to speak maybe in the future, they will speak something very intensive than that one.
Jakub, he got a very bad behavior. First of all, he chewed some cat in front of kids. He's smoking some weed in front of kids. He wear very, very, very bad. He's just coming to the center with a bad wearing, like he's empty, And when you talk with Jakub, he's just coming close with you. It's like he wants sex with you, but it's because it's not our culture, you're afraid on that. He's Muzungu, he's a white man. So you just come back and try just like to approach you to know that it's just a simple situation. When Jakub know that we already knowing his plan, he was finding another place to continue with his plan and coming to our center and doing a lot of disturbance, taking a lot of staffs, taking some people to police because he got money, and going to buy another place through the girl called Tatiana. And by that time, I think that Tatiana, she didn't know what is going on. I think that she was really trusting Jakub because maybe it was her first time to Tanzania. We was coming to tell him that we know that your plan is just to fool us and to destroy our kids. You are not here to help us. You are not here to help our kids. So he was deciding to talk with Monica, with Tatiana, and going to buy another house. Just imagine, he was talking to Monica and going to buy another house. While that, he don't have any registration. He put the kids in the house and is starting a new center and continue to do his evil. This is our first center, Nature and Skills, and secondly, he's going to start another center. By that time, he was meeting with another new peoples who was believing him, and they don't know him, but later, after knowing him, the house was sold, and even right now, we don't know even the kids where he is. But all of this is because of Jakub. So my last point is, if Jakub can go to jail, it will not be good pain to him. I think that he should go to jail and he should do a very hard work to pay for what he was done.
So this was just the first part of testimonies from the adults and children at the Nature and Skills Center. And honestly, what we've learned about Jakub Jahl from these accounts is so twisted on its own. We could end the entire documentary right here, but we can't, because this is only the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what's to come.
Before we move on, let's go back to the Nature and Skills Center for a moment. What exactly was the fraud that Tatiana talked about in our first documentary? Nature and Skills was established as a recreational and educational center for local children who didn't have the opportunity to attend school. Some of them came from abusive homes, from alcoholic parents, or had no parents at all. These children would occasionally stay overnight for several days a week. Then they would visit their parents and come back for a few more days. The only fraud was the one created by Jakub Jahl, who started calling this place his orphanage, marketed it that way in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and used that lie to raise money. Money he kept for himself. That's how he deceived sponsors and everyone involved. He had no ownership or any legal rights to the center, and it wasn't his project in any way. Nature and Skills had been running long before he ever showed up.
Now we're moving from the Nature and Skills Center to a specific family that became another victim of Jahl's manipulation. It was Joseph who introduced this family to Jahl. Jahl came, took photos of their children, their house, recorded videos, and made promises about sending money. He claimed he had many donors in the Czech Republic and that he would take care of everything. But as soon as he had the photos and videos on his phone, he disappeared and was never seen again.
And Joseph, who will show us this family, is a man who helped Jahl in Africa for a long time. He was his interpreter, guide, and friend. And in case Jahl tries to claim once again that Joseph had nothing to do with him, then he should explain how this stranger ended up in Jahl's own videos that he was posting on social media.
So guys, I'm Joseph. I was working with Jakub. I think you guys will know me. Here is Karanga. His place is called Karanga, and here is the place I bring Jakub. They had the idea to plant aloe vera and different kind of the fruits, but they didn't do anything. And this you can see one of the family. You can see how poor is this family. So Jakub will just use a trick. He just take the man. He just take the photo of this family, the children of this family. He put for donation, and he didn't help anything. So you can come around to see. This is the farm we use for planting stuff, but now you can see this family because they don't use anymore. So they just plant the beans. You can see the house was looking like. They promised to do renovation for this house. They didn't do any renovation. As you can see, it's a muddy house, which inside is terrible. And this is a family with the 5 children inside there. So use the trick of this family. It didn't help them anything. You can see the toilet also. He promised. This is the toilet. It was a promise to build the toilet, but you see the toilet is not built yet. You see how terrible is inside there. You see? So you can see. He promised as well to make the kitchen for them because there was new project here, but you can see our kitchen is looking terrible. So no anything there. You see our kitchen is looking like it's terrible. So guys, this guy he has to be nice person, to be good. He promised to this family. This family now they hate me. They think I get the money from them, but I didn't get anything. Even when you call me to come to show this place, I called them. They didn't want to pick up my phone. I tried to convince them, and then they say, okay, they'll make the evidence as well. Yes.
Very good.
Yes. So now wait for this mama, and then we can have an interview with the mama. You see? You see how inside? This is the house Jakub, this is the place Jakub was helping while he didn't help anything. Do you see, guys, by your own eyes? Which is terrible. Can see bed. You take a lot of photos to this house. You can see inside there. Yes. You see?
This place is for 5
children.
It's really crazy.
You can go to other side here. You see? That is the bed of people sleeping there. Do you think this family can be happy with Jakub for what he did? He can be happy. Yeah, he can be happy. Even you have a humanity. You know, we are human beings. So when you are human being, you have to be nice. I think you see by the video, you see by yourself how terrible it is. Sometimes you can even feel cry. This is the house of the 5 children. And this house of the 5 children, Jakub will take a lot of photos and tells them he'll help them. But he didn't help them anything. I think you can see everywhere. You see by your own eyes.
Yes.
He's a big liar, but he's a big liar, really big bad liar and pretender. He's a monster. He's not a human being. He's a real bad person. People like this, they're not supposed to be in this planet. People is not humanity. That is not good. People like this, we don't need in this planet.
I'm standing right now in the house Joseph brought us to, the very place where Jakub made all those big promises about how much he would help. He spent, I don't even know how much time here, just shooting some videos and taking pictures, and then posted everything online. We actually have the video straight from his Africká cesta, African Journey channel. I think it was called Joseph and the Geese or something like that. But the way this family lives, it's just awful. And the worst part is that some hyena like him comes here. There's no other word for it. He's a hyena. He just shows up, films his little videos, says, yeah, I'm going to help you, and makes all kinds of grand promises, and then never shows his face again. He doesn't help them at all. He just posts it online to make himself look like a great guy, but in reality, he did absolutely nothing for them. The way these people live, this environment, this family is living in extreme poverty, just extreme. In this tiny house lives a woman with 5 children. It's just terrible. And I honestly don't understand how someone can be such a hyena. To come here, shoot his videos, take pictures, and then act like he's some kind of savior. Anyway, the woman he made those promises to just arrived. So we're going to start filming now.
This is one of the women of this house. Her name is Mary, or you can call her Mama Michael. She's here to give the evidence about what Jakub did for his family. So I can start to listen her. What did she say? Dear.
How was it with Jakub?
They came. You brought them here.
You see?
They said they were people to help us. Jakub would help us. They took photos of us. Then they took my kids aside without telling us anything and said they'd help us. But after a while, they just disappeared. I really started to resent that young man.
She was really hurt me at the first time.
He really hurt me. I thought since he was the one who brought them, he got money for that.
I think maybe me I bring Jakub with his friend Martin Čičo. So you think maybe when I bring them, I get the money with them and then I disappear. So she was really hurt me.
So today, when I heard someone's coming again, I thought it was the same scammers. I said, that guy has come again to scam me. They've come again to take money from Europe. I hate that. I really hate him. I really hate him.
She's not happy. She even feel like crying. You see how it's terrible, my friend.
They took what was meant for us.
You see? It's really terrible.
And I didn't see anything for my children.
It's really terrible. It's really terrible, guys. It's not funny.
That person, he couldn't even look me in the eye. He acts like, Mama, I didn't get anything either, even though clearly something was given to him.
You see? She was thinking maybe I get some money from those people, and I didn't give them. But it was not real. Yeah, she was really even hate me when she see me. I pass maybe sometime in town, she's really feel bad. Yes.
So to me, at first, they just looked like good friends doing some kind of community work.
He said, because he's the one of the neighbor of this family, he said they used to come here, and then he was think he's a good friends, and then he joins them to work together for the garden, for the farm there.
He used to come around, we were working together, they'd take photos and then leave.
So I said they used to come, and then they was working together, they take photo, and then they leave. Yes.
Other times they'd come with papers like big posters or signs.
Sometimes they can come with a piece of papers.
They were thank you signs, saying, Asante sana, sa, thank you so much.
That piece of paper is written, thank you very much. So yes, they just do like this, putting up, yes.
But I didn't know the reason. I just thought the reason is that we're friends, we are working together.
He didn't know the reason why they come with that. He was thinking maybe just a friends, maybe it's a good friends, but not real.
That thanks, I thought, maybe it was because they were helping us on the farm, stuff like that. But honestly, I didn't know the truth.
So he didn't know the truth.
And it wasn't just me.
And it's not only him, it was many children. Yeah. So it was just give them the paper, thank you for support, while they don't receive anything.
Even now, I still don't know where those thank you papers were going or what that thanks was for.
You see?
I just can't get how someone can be such a heartless hyena. This woman, who literally broke down in tears when she spoke about Jahl, lives in a clay hut with 5 children, and their living conditions are unimaginable for most of us. Joseph showed this family to Jahl because he trusted him. He believed that when Jahl talked about children, about sponsors, about helping, he truly meant it.
Joseph wasn't the only one. Many others trusted Jahl as well. People at the Nature and Skills Center believed in him. Tatiana trusted him, and so did others who later helped him start a new orphanage. Dozens and dozens of Africans who came into contact with him over those 3 years trusted him too.
The fact is, for many people in Africa, a white person is seen as a symbol of hope. In places where people live hand to mouth, where illness is more common than food, anyone coming from Europe becomes a sign of faith that something might finally change for the better. And Jahl exploited that in the worst possible way. He literally made money off human misery. But if it were only about the money, the worst part is what he did with it, and how many lives he destroyed instead of helping.
We're now heading to the city of Moshi. On the outskirts of this city, Jahl rented a house that can only be described as a house of horrors. Because according to witnesses, what went on inside those walls was simply appalling. And the worst part is, he rented this house right next to a large school campus, where huge numbers of vulnerable children pass by every single day.
Joseph was the first one to tell us about the house, because he was one of the first people Jahl tried to persuade to spend the night there with him. And this is actual footage from inside that house, which Jahl posted on his own channel. Here you can see Joseph, who at the time had no idea he was spending time with a predator, someone who planned to exploit everything and everyone that crossed his path.
Witnesses in the first documentary already spoke about this house, describing how Jahl would bring boys here to pay them for sex. But it wasn't just about paying them. For those who refused to have sex with him for money, witnesses say he tried to rape them. And as you are about to hear, in some cases, unfortunately, he succeeded.
Yeah, this is Jakub. Yeah, he used to be really good friend of mine, and I met him in Moshi, and I met because I was an artist and I was supporting the street children and the orphans. So Jacobo, he came and he told me like he does the same things. So after few months after knowing Jacob, Then I start seeing, he's doing different things because he was asking me if I can go and buy him some things which is not legal here, like weed and drugs. So he was sending me. So I know Jakub, that he was really like he tried to teach me to change my belief about God, and try to believe in satanic things, you know.
I met Jakub like more than 4 years ago here in Moshi. I met him in town. I remember the day I met him, I was just looking for color for painting the house. And then he didn't understand each other because most of the locals don't speak English. So someone called me to help to explain it, because at least a little bit I can speak English. And then I talked to him, I helped him, we get the color. And then he told me, why you speak good English? I tell him, I meet with people, so I learn it day by day, and then I speak. After that, he tell me, I have some mission here in Africa, I want to come to help the community. We went there, I take my contact. After that, he told me, I want you to find me the house. And then I find the house, one place is calling Rao. So he coming back with his other friend. I think it was the first time to meet him. It was called Martin Čičo. After when he came with Martin Čičo, they went to pay for that house in Rao. And then he said, this house will be for volunteer, because I'm already talked to people in Czech Republic to come to vote, to help here and to collect money there and to help here.
He laughed about it. He used that money to buy those African boys for himself. That's why he was renting the house where we were staying, supposedly as a community, as a mission. And then he also rented another place in the city center, in Moshi, where he would go to enjoy himself. When he wasn't in the mood to deal with us, he would leave and sometimes be gone for 2 days.
So, we've just arrived at the house that Jahl was renting for his twisted activities. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find the owner. There's only someone currently living here. Just so you understand, this is the first house, and behind that grey gate is the second house, the one Jahl was actually renting. Okay, they just told us we can't film in there.
Yeah, we had to stop filming for a while. And honestly, I get it. Since the actual owner isn't here and this guy's just renting the place, it makes sense that he doesn't want us filming.
We are now walking away from this house. See, we've been walking for about a minute and we're already coming up to the place where kids are playing. There's a school here. See the children. There's a school right there. We've only been a minute from the gate of that house.
I mean, after everything we've already heard, the testimonies from various kids, like the ones who used to attend the Nature and Skills Center, the very idea that Jahl rented a house basically right on the school grounds is honestly terrifying to me. That alone is deeply disturbing because, sorry, but to be in direct contact with these kids, he could have been luring them with God knows what. And okay, maybe I'm just speculating now, sure. But the fact itself that these kids, like the ones running up to us right now just because they see a white person, and it's something new to them, that fact alone, that he rented a house right here next to a school, is terrifying enough on its own.
Hello!
You see how the children here react when they see white skin. They are curious.
I remember one day he was coming from club together, was both drinking, and we went to the place where I used to stay, very little bit outside town, to his home. And then he wanted me to do like me to do him, you know. It's a man and me, I'm a man, I don't want to do a man, you know. He was trying to touch me in African, like a man to man. He came naked, you know. That is it's not good, you know. And we become like, I just know maybe some people have mental problem maybe, so I just take him as the way he is. But I already know this guy is not doing good, because if he's doing good to the children, he cannot do such kind of things like that, you know. It was like a new year. He was here the new year. So we went to the new land part, and that day it was a very bad day in my life with Jakub, because he drank a lot of alcohol. Then it was in dark place, and then he started to telling things like, I will say, what is that? Is this okay? Or is maybe it's a white people culture, you know? So he was trying to approach another man.
Please describe what he said. Like concrete words.
He was saying like he has a lot of money. He's a white man, so he want to take like a 14 years old boy. He want to take him to his place, not by asking, by force. And here in children labor, it's small children. You don't have to force or to try to manipulate because of your money, you know.
So the 14-years old, he touched him, he forced him like physically, or what?
Yeah, he was trying to touch him, even to kiss him, you know. Even to kiss him, was trying to kiss. So the boy was really scared. Then he ran for me and he said, "Oh, brother." Oh.
First time I went to the house, the house in Rau, so he was forced me to sleep there to that house. But for me, I was feeling why this guy is forced me to sleep at that house, and I have my house, and I feel like he's not good. Guy seems like he's gay, but for me, I don't judge nobody. So me, it's not my culture. So next day he told me why yesterday this is our house. So I left the house. I told him I have a place I stay, so I can leave that place. So he told me that. He told me I feel bad in the night. I was feel sad, you know, all night. Sleep myself. I told him me is not my culture. He was laughing. He's really trick. He was laughing, and then he stopped about it. When he realized that, I started to be away in the night time. After when we go to the project, we go back to the house. I tried to run away from the house. I didn't want to sleep there because he will abuse me. So I didn't want that. And me, it's not my style. I don't judge nobody, but it's not my style.
So he come in at the night, midnight in the night. So, and she shifted apart from me. He slept apart from me. So after me to sleeping, she started to touch me. Yeah, some places which is not good for me. Some place like that. Yeah, in my secret place, in my chest. Yeah, and he say he wanted to fuck with me.
And during he touched you, he also touched himself there?
Yes, himself there. Even him touch himself, and he forced me to fuck him. By force, he said he'll give me everything when I give him what he wants. Yeah, he tried to manipulate me for many things, and me, I don't like that. So I'm go out at the midnight because I don't want to sharing that thing.
Jacobo was a man who needed same-sex sex. Yeah. And he's a man who's been very violent with us when it comes to sex. Jacobo was like a shoga. He was very violent. He made us do really weird things with him. Really.
One night, it was, even my t-shirt was like a, how you say, was cutting my t-shirt, because he was pulling me, like, come, and then one day I was sleeping on the couch, and he just came touching my pen without me allowed him, you know. And I wake up, I become hungry, and he say, "Oh no, stop." It was in Rao. It's like a 2-3 kilometers from here, town, Moshi town. So where he used to rent a house, like apartment, so he was staying there.
Only you or also other boys?
He come with he called me. Next day he called another people, you know, another boys, sometimes small children, sometimes teenager kids, you know. So not all the people has a strong to say no. Maybe other he did, you know.
Jakub is like this, you know, here in Tanzania life is very tough. So he knows that. So he uses that opportunity. When he sees the young boys, they sit, he just buys them food, some drinks, and gives some money, and smoking with them weed. After that, he treats them to invite them. After when he invites to the house, and then he does that. Because those people, they have a problem, they don't do because they like it, they do because they have a problem. So it was a trick for the money, which is collect to Czech Republic to help people, so it was a trick to destroy our community here in Tanzania.
When he come naked, he say, "Hey, come, we can have some fun." He say, like, to me, he want to show me something, you know, something which I will be happy with. So, as a man who I understand, I know this guy that is not good things, you know. So I just tell him, "Why, Jacob, stop, I don't like that, stop. He try, like, when I become hungry, then he just say, "Oh, okay," continue. And one day, 2 days, he repeats the same things. No, 3 days, and I say, "Jacob, what's the problem?" And then his friend come, Martin. So they was rolling together everywhere. So
That is the one. That is the first time, and the second time, he prepared himself for showering, for shaving all part of his body, and come in my room naked and they try to force me to another time to have sex with him. So he used many power to force me. That second time, he used a lot of power to sex with me.
Like, he was aggressive, or he touched you?
He touched me and he do horrible thing to me. Even kiss me, want to share romance with me, I can say. Even me, I don't want that thing. So he used a role of power. Because it is the second time. He used a role of power. So even that time, I refused. And about time, Jacob, he will become my enemies. After that second time, when I received to sex with him, he returned to be my enemies.
If I get it correctly last time, you refused, and then he go to children?
At the night, when I'm received, he go to children at the night. And we don't know how, and we don't know what they're going to do in the children. But sometimes I saw with some fuel, I think I can say what, some fuels which like massage with the children when children was naked. And there are some pact which is not allowed to touch children in Tanzania, but him they touch children, even the girls and the boys, and they teach them some sexuality and some sexuality process.
At Moshi Club that night, we were both high, but myself, I don't do much alcohol. So he was take the car in a bajaji. Bajaji is a tuk-tuk. Then he bring to his place where he live. With me also, girl, me, Buyu. We call him Buyu, sorry. So, yeah. So we go with him to his place. After that, like I normally sleep in a sitting room. So I hear the girl screaming, hey. I say, what? I go to knock the door, was locked. So the girl started to scream, then she opened the door immediately. Then I saw her like she was kind of naked, and then Mbuyu, he was trying to catch him to pull inside, So the girl was screaming and running. So he was telling me, hey, don't try to call the police. If you call the police, I'll never walk with you anymore, Like I've been saying to take risk because he always like when he do bad things, he just think he manipulate us. He gives some money, like you don't say, he give us some small money.
A white man named Jakub appeared, who had authority in the building. When this white man came, I was 10 years old. He said he would take me to school. At first, he promised that he would send me to school, but later he began to sexually harass me. I was too small to be able to consent to that. It was 10 o'clock at night. He came home at 10 at night. I was sleeping there on the couch. While I was on the couch, he started threatening me with a knife because I refused him romantically. So he started threatening me with a knife. He said he wanted to marry me. When he raped me, he was holding a knife. At first he wasn't, but then he took it out. The first time it was that he had a knife and came dressed.
So he was fully dressed?
He had clothes on and said he wanted to lie down. He said, I want to sleep with you. I said, no, I'm still too young. I am not yet of an age to sleep with a man. But he started to force me. He took off his clothes, pulled a knife. He had it hidden in his clothes, walked towards the bed where I was, and he just kept forcing me. So when he was forcing me, I overpowered him, and that's when he cut me here, and he cut me here, and here. The door was open, so I decided to push him out. Because he had already taken off his clothes, I decided to push him out. The night dress I was wearing, it had short sleeves, and he ripped it. He had already torn it, so I decided to defend myself and run outside in that torn night dress. I ran out so he wouldn't keep threatening me or hurting me further. He kept saying he wanted to marry me, but I managed to escape. Then I ran to the school compound. He grabbed me and cut me here. Another knife mark here. And my breasts.
He cut your breasts?
Yes, he scratched my chest. This is a scar from that. This is the mark on my breast here. When I escaped, he had already violated me. I had to run and my leg was seriously injured. The cut was so deep, the flesh inside came out. So when I was running, it hurt badly. I was almost collapsing from the pain.
After you ran, did he come after you again?
He didn't come after me again.
So that was the last time you saw him since he did that evil act?
Yes.
And where did you run to?
That night, I ran to the neighbor's house. I knocked on their door. I knocked, and I told her, "Mama, please let me sleep the night here. Where I live, a problem happened. I was raped." I ran for help because I didn't have anywhere else to go. After I left that lady's house, I started trying to survive on my own in the streets. I live, I work. That lady gave me a place to sleep at night, and in the mornings I went out to look for work, like washing dishes, mopping floors, fetching water. That's how I survive.
So now I show you some picture of a house, and you can say that it's yes. This is Jacobo. Yeah. And this is this house where we
Yes.
are. Yes?
Yes.
You are sure? Yeah.
He's asking you if you're sure.
Yes.
She says yes.
Does he remember how many rooms there were?
Do you remember how many rooms was there in that house?
In that house, I think it was like 2 rooms and a sitting room, and like you enter in a room, here is a sitting room, here is kitchen, and then there are like 2 rooms.
We thought things couldn't possibly get any worse after meeting that young girl. But we were wrong. Now we're going to show you the testimony of a father and his 12-year-old son, a child who endured terrible things because of Jakub. Even after all these years, you can still see the deep fear and anxiety in him. What happened to this boy goes beyond all boundaries of humanity. There are things that no child should ever even think about, let alone experience. In fact, these children need professional psychological help and support. But you have seen for yourselves the difficult conditions these people live in. I don't even want to describe all the details. Just watch the boy's reaction when he sees Jakub's photo and listen to the testimony of him and his father.
That day, my son came home. He came home, and he was sad. Whenever I asked him what was wrong, he wouldn't tell me. Every time I asked, he wouldn't say. And because I'm just an ordinary man trying to make a living, I just kept on with my work. Then, after a while, I sat down with my son to talk. I said to him, "Please, if something bad happened to you, just tell me." He said, "Something bad did happen." So we talked. And then my son told me, a white man came and he said he wanted to help the children at the school, but he started doing strange things to us.
So, this is him?
That's Jakub.
That's Jakub? What did he do to you?
Me and my friend, I pooped in his mouth. He raped my friend. I pooped in his mouth. He raped my friend. I pooped in his mouth and he was very happy. I was very scared. Jakub raped my friend. And I ran away. Jakub threatened us with a knife. That's why I ran away.
I asked him, what kind of things? And he explained. He said, oh, he made me poop in his mouth. It was scary and weird. I didn't get why he wanted that. But then he grabbed my friend who was also with us, and he raped him. When I saw it, I was so scared. I had to run away. I had to get out. He didn't run after me because he stuck to my friend and was raping him. He said it bothered him so much that he wanted to keep it to himself. I couldn't handle it because the center's closed and I'm a poor man.
You've just heard from people who, even after all these years, still carry deep scars. And for Rosie, those scars are literal. As we stood there in front of them with the camera, listening to their stories, only one thought kept running through my head. How can someone be such a monster? And how is it possible that this predator is studying to be a teacher today? Do we really want someone like that teaching children in a school one day? Imagine your 10-year-old daughter sitting across from you, describing how a man came at her with a knife, how he cut her while trying to rape her. What would you feel at that moment? I'll tell you what I felt. I wanted to vomit. I just wanted to turn off the camera and go home. But I couldn't, because this girl had the courage to speak out, because these children and adults had the strength to tell their stories. And now, we owe it to all of them to show this to the world, because after committing these atrocities, y'all fled from Africa.
Jahl is studying to be a teacher. And what about his accomplice, Martin Čičo? He's actually studying at a police academy. Tell me, is it right for someone who's been complicit in such atrocities for so long to get a job where he's supposed to protect public safety? And whose safety will that be?
As we already said at the beginning, after the release of the first documentary, y'all started claiming that Alatra was spreading hoaxes about him, that those who spoke out were lying and barely had any experience with him. And a bit later, y'all even began publicly bragging about filing criminal complaints and lawsuits. So now I'd like to ask Jakub directly again. Whom exactly do you want to sue, Jakub? Are you going to sue Teresa Bob or the children from the Nature and Skills Center? Or will you sue the people you tried to rape, according to the testimonies? Will it be Rama, Modeste, Joseph, all the children, or Rosie, the girl you cut with a knife? So, who? Are you going to sue all the people we're about to hear in this documentary? Like Jeffrey, who you also pulled a knife on? Or Stanley? Or are you going to go ahead and sue the head of the social welfare office in Moshi, who gave us his official report on you? Or the village mayor, who also told us about the hell you put his people through? So whom? And more importantly, for what? For telling the truth about what they experienced with you?
You're about to see footage that reveals the real life of Jakub Jahl in Africa. The life he never showed on his social media. You'll see him spending time with a drug gang. And you'll hear the testimonies from more witnesses. People who experienced his violence, manipulation, aggression, and completely inexcusable behavior.
Well, as you can see, we are really stoned every day here in Africa. Stoned every day, stoned every day, stoned every day.
Give the gum first. Give the gum first. Yeah, you can use it. Give the gum.
Can you say what's this?
This one, she just it's like one of the marijuana, we call it mira. Here, here a lot of people they use it, and Jacob was polite many people to use these things here. It's like a green one, and when you use it, you go on addiction. So people they using here much. That way, Jacob was using much more to spend because of the people.
Yes.
People marijuana without anything. Yeah, sure. So this one she called Mira, like what you see here.
This is for Jacobo.
Yeah,
every day.
You can touch it. You can touch it. Can you touch for me here? Can you put for me over here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure, yeah, sure. So it's like this one, like how we see it. Yeah, sure. People they use them to chewing with a big bomb. Yeah. So chewing this will stay like I don't know how can I explain, but it just will stay like drugs. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Mopacabos.
Yeah, again?
Mopacabos.
Again?
Mopacabos.
Again?
Mopacabos.
Yeah.
Mopacabos.
As you can see, we are really stoned every day here in Africa.
Mopacabos. Enjoy life. Yum, Guinness is very good.
Yeah.
But it costs the same price, but it's very good. It's very good.
Yeah. Flavor.
Yeah, try it. Mopacabos.
This guy was very crazy because he was intermingling with the guys also which involved in cases like they are like thugs, you know. So maybe he could use them, as you call them, mafia, you know. So maybe he could use them to send the people that tell that they are. You have to be very careful, and it is true. Because talk about the people of hanging out and partying, hanging out, meeting with different people, smoking marijuana, because those people are the people used to, they are stuff that they used to in their day life.
Hi.
So, friends, we're walking here now along this street, or I should say, this village, where Jakub spent most of his time. And whenever we show his picture, so many people here just know him, and hardly anyone. Actually, so far, I haven't heard a single person say a nice thing about him. The people here know about the atrocities he committed, and even though it's been some time since he fled, they remember it all very well. The word has gotten around. So, we're making our way through this village. This is the slum where Moses grew up, and where, according to Stanley, Jakub hid out for 6 months. This was his last known location in Tanzania, the place where he spent his time right before he fled the country. And Moses, who you see here walking with us, actually tried to catch him when he was escaping. They tried to get him at his hotel, tried to catch him as he fled to the airport, but unfortunately, they didn't manage to. Anyway, we're now about to speak with the family the one he...
With the mom?
With the mom. We're going to speak with Moses' mom.
No, this is the woman who's like the ambassador here.
Oh, so it's not actually his mom? I thought she was his mother.
They all call her Mama here. It's a sign of respect.
Ah, I see.
She's the ambassador, the one who handles all the local problems and then reports them to the government.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. African life.
Yeah. Jesus here, I see.
Yeah, sure.
Did you ever hear him arguing with anyone? What was that like?
He would fight with the street gangs. He was one of them.
Okay, he was fighting with gangster people on street here.
Can you explain what he would fight about?
Overweight.
Because of weed.
He would smoke their cigarettes. He must have been fighting because he was in a group of troublemakers. I mean, young men with no morals, smoking marijuana and chewing khat. He used to hang out with them. He'd sit with them in their groups, so yeah, he'd end up in fights over alcohol.
What is this good for you? Yeah, this is jambi. Jambi. Spaghetti. Spaghetti. Can I taste it? Yeah, you can taste. You can. I love it.
Muzuri sana. So I was chilling with Mbuyu over here, and all the people, every time all the place here, we was using like to chilling, make it discussing, do some meeting over here. Yeah, sure. So even the people they know Mbuyu over here, back here. Yeah, sure. So we started from here.
Okay.
Then just we gone down. Yeah, sure.
Hey, do you know this guy? Yes, yes. He was here. Yes.
Everybody know him, man.
We all know him.
Yeah, this guy, we all knew him. You remember this guy, right? Speak Swahili.
You knew him real well, especially you.
I know him very well.
What can you tell me about him?
Man, he was a real street guy. The way we lived with him, from how he spoke to us, you can tell this guy was hiding something.
His bad side?
Yeah, because his intentions were bad. But for sure, it showed. He's a duck guy. He was a duck guy for real. The dude loved money, loved living big. That duck life, it was his thing. He loved to let loose, live wild.
You see that here in Africa we're actually high every single day. So we're at the market. This one's called the bamboo market, the bamboo market. You can see there are all sorts of things here. We're looking for a machete.
Looking for a machete. Looking for a machete.
So he was passing on the street, smoking weed, and sometimes he was walking with a knife. Even one day he was like give him one of my friend like injured with a knife, no?
Sometimes in the end of time before he leave, he was used to use you know how we call it pam knife for what? Machete. He was used with machete. He put a machete and say no one can do nothing to me. I got money, I got everything, and I got people behind me who supporting me. So means in your country it is some people behind him. They're supporting him to come to Tanzania to do those bad things. So please, what you do when you're back in your country, try to ask who was behind you. Who sent you there? Go and do bad thing because you promise you got the money, you work with machete, you can do whatever you want it. Can you believe it? Someone come in your country and you work with machete? That was not fair.
We're looking for a machete.
Very insulting me, especially Jakub. And that the time was Lenka already came. And Lenka, she was telling Jakub like, don't do that, don't do that. Jakub took the knife and just came to me. She won't like dig me the knife. Lenka was just capture him here and like, don't do that, don't do that. Everybody there in the street, people was just came there. And they was like wondering like, why this guy that was peaceful with this guy here, I mean with me, and how this nowadays come like, they have this quarrel, big quarrel is like this. So I left there after seeing that the guys already took the knife, want to dig me and insult me a lot. I don't want even to remember. It was a bad day for me.
What that guy does for those young boys?
Why
or
you take them
whatever,
at
this
the
and
night
this.
to the swimming pool?
Oh, this and this.
Why?
And say,
You know,
oh,
why you take someone
it's
at the
not
night
good.
at the swimming
It's not
pool?
good.
The children.
And he was very angry. If you tried to ask him like a few questions, why you does this and this? He was very angry.
Yeah,
Fuck, what? And he ran away.
They had a problem with the police in Moshi town. They had a fight in a club called Redstone. It is in Moshi town. It was a really bad fight because they were involved with people who were the one who were selling those drugs. So it was not a good image for them, obviously. And the authority asked them what they were doing in the country, and they found out that they were here for vacation, but they were doing something else, which they did not have the permit to do. Like having an orphanage here. They did not have the permit to do that.
They would ride around on motorcycles, smoking marijuana with the young bikers, and then they'd take the children, boys and girls, and do those kinds of things with them. I have filed a report, and I have witnesses.
Hey guys, do you know this guy?
You know? You know this guy? What do you know about this guy?
Mr. Mbuyu.
What do you know about this person, Mumbuyo? Maybe your own experience with him.
He had little street kids. He'd pick up little kids like he was trying to help them. But then he'd anally rape them.
He liked those things like selling drugs. He likes those people who sells were his friends, and he liked them very much. He was liking to walk with them. I can say he loved quarrels, like arguing, because when he was having problems with people, other places, he was like paying them even to go do some bad stuff. So to those people, like beating them, he say, go beat someone because he did this and this to me so that I can pay you. He did things like that. He took people, give them money, go beat someone, make him choke, like that, make him bleed. Yeah, there are times I hear him with his own words, he say things like that. And organize things like that.
And also, these people, they kill a lot of dogs around. I think they give something like poison. So I was get like also a people complaining from the chairman of the street who was living there. He told me it's a medicine he puts on the road, and then when you are coming morning, you see like more than 10, 20 dogs, they die. So I read in what kind of medicine he was give them. And then I get the complaint from one of the chairman of the street. I saw Jakub was give something to the dogs there, and these dogs they pass away. So what is the give? I say I didn't know. So I asked Jakub, and Jakub was only laughing.
He came to distract the society because he came to use the other one, and when he goes to use the other one, he just speak lies to hate the other one. Not only that, he distracted because he was used to buy marijuana for those guys who we met, especially so instead of helping them, he used to smoke with them. The other guys who met with them, buying them alcohol. Okay, if you go and meet all the person, you can see their situation. Drunken people and something like that. Is he helping them? Nothing. This is the kind of distraction. Adding distraction instead of changing their life and showing the right way as a person from Europe. As you know, here in Africa, most of people believe that the people from Europe, they're developed. Why doesn't he show them the way to develop, and instead of them, he added a distraction in their life? So this is the kind of distraction. He distracted the relationship with guys between friends and friends because we're just like cycle, you see? Like a cycle of friendship. I can know this and this one know this and this one know this. So you can find that I'm here, but the last person knows about me because of him.
Jakub was lying, so use the trick to separate with those people, because when you still deal with those people, they'll know the truth because they already know the truth. So he's trying to separate. Yeah, so when you already know about him, so you try to use the trick because he has the money, he go to those people, he say blah blah blah, which is not true, so to separate you together because he don't want those people to know about him.
Jakub knows us very well. They have to understand that Jakub is a liar, and every time he's using to twist it. Jakub is good to deny someone. Jakub is good to speak shit for someone so that it can be seen that is bad person. It is what I saw it, and I was following to the people who he met with them. What I want to tell them, Jakub knows us, all of them. He met with a lot of people here in Tanzania and he wanted to use them, pretending that he wants to help people. But unfortunately, he was doing the other mission behind the scene. And after he knew that someone is very clever and can understand and discover that what is his will, he started like misunderstanding with him. And he's twisted to his fellow who knows him. He uses the people who are behind you that he came to cooperate with you. He used the people behind you and speak shit. And these people start to hate you. Then he collaborates with them. This the trick that he was using. Is a kind of person with having a very strong manipulation ideas to the people. He manipulates you to see the other person is bad and uses you.
Just like he was teaching us to hate each other without anything, you know? But I just was thinking, sometimes we were thinking why we need to hate each other, and we don't know them, they haven't hating us, why can we hating them? Yeah, you know, that we come to know all things end of time, you know? That he is not a good guy. Even sometimes was tricking people to, he was need like us to kick out Tanya sometime, you know, out of the orphanage, you know. But at the end of them, we come to know everything that he was need like to treat us. He was making conflict with us, between us, you know.
He give a lot of people pain. A lot of people in our community here, even us. We have our job before to meet with them. We have a lot of things, but Jakub broke us. So Jakub did a lot of things, horrible things in our country, in our community, especially in Kaloleni, Moshi.
Can you explain how he made us fall out with those people up there? Can you describe it? You know all about it. How he divided people into groups, how he would split people up.
People started arguing. The young men started fighting. They'd even pull machetes on each other, all because of Jakub.
And before there were no such arguments at all? Like all these conflicts and fights you mentioned?
I witnessed everything. It all started when they began to argue among themselves, because he told one group one thing, then something else to the others, spread gossip, and insulted everyone. He'd compare this person to a dog, that one to a monkey. Jakub.
He was talking, his same Zungu is so stupid. Ever sometimes we was taking him even on this hotel here. He was talking shit about white people. He would say, I hate much white people. I don't need to see them even in this country, you know?
The small is very crazy Zungu land. Yeah, very, very, very. Very crazy. It is like this. So many stupid people. There are. Yeah. Yes. No. Yes, of course. Why? So many. Because they are fanatics. Yeah. They are like. But Zungu people, a lot of information. They know a lot of information, but stupid.
Trick because of his money. And when I ask him, he say get the money from the stupid Muzungu in Czech Republic.
There's a picture here. I think this is you. Where did you see him? Is this you?
I think this is you.
Me.
Yes, it's him.
Yes, it's you.
Yeah.
Me. Yes. From what I saw, Jacob, he was into drugs. That was his life. It got so bad that he just became a mess. There were children around, and I don't like filth. I don't even like seeing that kind of filth. Drugs. That mess he was in, it was the same thing over and over. Every morning, Nu'd wake up and find him using drugs. He didn't have a job. He didn't do anything.
Buyu took us at the night with bike. Then he wanted us to find a big tree. The tree that grow at a scattered area, like a big tree. Big, when I say big, I mean big. In Africa, when we was young, we thought that at the tree there is a, what is it called? The witch go there and make their things. But Mbu took us at the night with drums. Then he go there, he started hitting, he sing. He don't sing in English, he sing in Slovakia, so we don't understand. Then he told us, stay away from there, you can get hurt. Yeah. So we stay back where we stay, we move, we waited for him. He stayed here, he hit the drum like 2, 3, 4 hours. Yeah. We just waited for him because we took him and we treat him like a foreigner, so we have to protect him. But when we try to protect him because it's a night, he told us, no, stay away, you can get hurt.
there is a people here, I'm talking. When we don't see people. He hit drums, he sing, he laughing, he cry, he do all this stuff, he's talking.
Longer. 4 periods.
Even sometimes he was took me to go to prayer on the baobab tree, you know, like he was trusting like a Masonic, I hope. Yeah, he was on midnight, like on 12 a.m. midnight. He was take me in there from the house to out, and we was praying like a drum. He was believing. He was telling me I believe on magic, you know. So he was like lying me to take me. I was beating a drum. He would take me to the baobab tree on midnight, and then just we are around the baobab tree. We start to sing, which I even understand what was going on over there, you know.
He says he's a Freemason. He show you a sign of Freemason on his phone. He say he can bad stuff. He say he can see us here. There is a day he told one of my friends that when I watch you at your eyes, I can read your mind. How? So he tried to scare a lot of my friends, but me, I'm not scared him. Yeah. Then I told him, no, you can't. That's why he started hating me. And early, he started, and he see me like I'm not his type because I don't believe it.
At the beginning, when Jacobo arrived, he was introduced as someone coming to provide help to children, especially at the orphanage, and people expected that to happen. But all the aid sent by people from the Czech Republic never reached those it was meant for. We also have verified information that Jacobo did not behave well toward Tanzanian society. This led many people in the community to distance themselves from him. It was after they learnt that Jacobo was engaging in inappropriate behavior, such as being homosexual, failing to deliver the aid entrusted to him, smoking and drinking alcohol. He was a man who smoked marijuana, and he wasn't alone. He was one of the people he came here with. They used marijuana, but then he got involved in sexual stuff, where he started touching male genitalia. Yes, touching male genitalia in this area. That's what we found, and that's what concerned us as leaders. When he saw that we were concerned, he realized the potential trouble he was in here in Tanzania, and he left in secret.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Jakub, wherever he is now? If you happened to meet him, what would you say to him?
What would I do to him? What would I do to Jakub? If I saw him, I would have him arrested. I would report him to the chief investigator of the Kilimanjaro region.
Do you think he should go to jail?
Yes, definitely.
He is not allowed to enter here in Tanzania. Okay? They told me, immigration people, that he is not allowed to enter here in Tanzania. And once we found him, including his host, he will be taken to the court. Okay? Because it's illegal for whatever they identified it.
Oh yeah, he was not punished because the end of time government that was sick him and he ran. And at the time when he ran away, he ran with the money for the kids. You know, so we starting to find him all the different hotel here in town. Even now, government seeking him. Anytime when he be back, he will be back here. He will be cashed. Yeah, sure.
In my country, he's not allowed to be here.
He's not
Allowed to be here. Yeah, because our government know everything about him. Even immigration here, they know everything about him. Yeah, so when he'll be here, it will be bad to him.
So tell him, Buyu, we don't want to see him in Tanzania again and again. When we see him again, we take his neck. We rob him as well in a public area. Because what he was doing bad thing for our new generation.
My last point is, if Jakub can go to jail, it will not be good pain to him. I think that he should go to jail and he should do a very hard work to pay for what he was done.
He's a monster. He's not a human being. He's a real bad person. People like this, they're not supposed to be in this planet.
I cannot welcome anyone who doesn't have good intentions for the people of Tanzania. But when someone comes with good intentions, like you have with this interview, I welcome you and am ready to cooperate. Someone who acts against our community has no place here. I thank you and I welcome you, if you have truly come to help Tanzanians. But don't do what Jakub did. Instead, do what builds up both our communities, yours and ours, for a better world.
Let's ask ourselves a question. How many good people from the Czech Republic and Slovakia sent money in good faith, just wanting to help children? All it took was one psychopath, and he destroyed it all. He betrayed their trust, ruined the community, stole the money, and ruined lives. The lives of innocent children who saw hope in him from the very beginning. And then he just ran away. And today, he appears in the media as an expert, gives lectures on so-called dangerous cults, and has become the Czech face of an anti-cult extremist network. But Jahl isn't the exception. He is the prime example. All the activists in this international anti-cult network of Dworkin, with its extremist and terrorist-like ideology, from Jahl all the way to Dworkin himself, exhibit the same psychopathic traits: violence, spreading hatred, persecution, terror, and the destruction of lives through manipulation and power over others. And their hypocrisy is that they present themselves as fighters against sects and cults, claiming to protect society from threats. But do they have any respect for people's actual rights and freedoms? They claim to care about children, to be their defenders. But look at what they really do. They are pedophiles, coprophiles, and sadists.
In Africa, Jahl was doing exactly what he's doing in the Czech Republic today. He just changed the scenery. A few years ago, it was the fight against poverty. Now it's the fight against cults. But the core of his actions remains the same, destroying human lives under feel-good slogans. Today, following the example of the Nazis, he compiles blacklists and spreads false accusations and hatred toward innocent people. And his tendencies toward Nazism were already on public display more than 10 years ago, when he burned the Israeli flag in a town square in front of a synagogue. That's why I compared him to Alexander Dworkin in the first documentary, because it was this very psychopath who unleashed a wave of persecution and attacks against numerous minority groups in Russia. It's because of him that basic human rights in Russia are being increasingly suppressed. Meanwhile, Dworkin is a man with documented psychiatric diagnoses, sadistic tendencies, and according to witness testimony, a pedophilic perversion known as coprophilia. And this is exactly why we should once again recall the father and his son, the one who experienced this depravity firsthand.
He raped my friend. I pooped in his mouth and he was very happy. I was very scared. Jakub raped my friend and I ran away.
After all, Jahl rented a house right next to the school grounds. He had access to children every single day, and he didn't even have to try. We were there ourselves. And the children came up to us on their own, just because we're white. When Africans see a white person, they feel hope and expect help, and Jahl promised them that help.
We'll go now to ask the director if he agrees to us organizing some projects in this school. It would mainly involve something in the computer room, those two places.
Now just imagine the intense stress these children must have gone through, the trauma they are carrying. Would you talk about something like that, especially on camera? So how many other such kids are there really? After all, there were plenty of adults who refused to even meet with us, because they just want to block out any memory of Jahl. Adults who are living with their own painful trauma. And how about children?
We were pursuing for Ramadan, the first Ramadan at Nature Skills Center. to give us also the proof from him. But Ramadan is very painful. And he doesn't have any trust from the people from Czech Republic. He said, Jakub caused a lot of damage in my heart. And I feel so painful. And I think there is no advantage just coming and give the proof, because he pained me a lot. And I feel bad about that one. I said that I can't give any proof because these people, I look them like they are the same. They have to leave me alone. I don't want to hear about Jakub. It made me my life to be very worse. I called Mama Mary also to give some proofs about what was going on. She was like, she don't want. I called Jessica, the girl, who was giving service to the kids, was serving the kids at the orphanage, helping them for cooking and everything. But also she refused. Why she refused? She refused because of the pain what they got and disturbances that they didn't expect.
And now, look at another face of Dvorkin's totalitarian sect. In Ukraine, a very active follower of Dvorkin is Irina Kremenovska, a woman who, in the past, tortured dogs and claimed that the suffering of dogs is a symphony for her ears.
This person writes on social media, on Facebook.
Irina posts on social media?
Exactly, Irina. I open the window a bit, listening. Will I hear the screams of "Hello, Rainbow"? The symphonies are long to describe, but in short, they can last a long time, and sometimes they happen at all. Once at the summer house, I fed a pack on our street in the morning, around 8 a.m. The symphony, or rather the choir, started after 10 and lasted for 2 hours.
The lady is enjoying herself.
And then, think back to Joseph's testimony, describing how Jahl would poison dogs on the street.
So I was get people complaining from the chairman of the street where I was living there. He told me it's a medicine he puts on the road, and then when you come in morning, you see like more than 10, 20 dogs, they die. So I didn't know what kind of medicine he was give them. I saw Jakub was give something to the dogs there, and these dogs they pass away. So what is it give? I say I didn't know.
What are you using to poison them?
It's not poison, it's a medical drug, an anti-tuberculosis medication.
So, as they say, birds of a feather flock together. That is why Jahl repeatedly references Kremenovska in his videos. And what about her companion, a man whose last name is Sviatogor? He is known as a dog hunter, has been investigated repeatedly, and open sources have reported that he is also a pedophile.
So we can clearly see here that all the activists in this network are exactly the same. And Jahl is obviously connected to them, rhetorically, organizationally, and ideologically. The same pattern we can find in the US, with people like Stephen Hassan and Rick Allen Ross, whom we also mentioned in the first documentary. Both were active in the anti-cult organization CAN, which went bankrupt after facing numerous lawsuits and court proceedings. And the reason was precisely because of accusations of violent deprogramming, where people were locked up against their will and subjected to both psychological and physical abuse. While Hassan acted there as a consultant, Ross was a deprogrammer himself. A jury ordered Ross to pay over $3 million in damages to his victims. He was convicted of violating human rights, of violence, and of illegally interfering in people's private and family lives. And Jahl does the exact same thing. After our first documentary aired, we were contacted by many people whose family and romantic relationships were destroyed by Jahl. He manipulated their loved ones, called and texted them even in the middle of the night, and interfered in their personal lives. And I experienced this myself. I know all too well how perversely this lunatic can invade your privacy.
This is the true face of the entire anti-cult extremist network. Not protection, but the destruction of people. And it's far from just the ones they point their fingers at. Their influence destroys the psyche of everyone around them. Africa is a striking example. 4 years later, but everyone talks about it like it was yesterday. The whole city knows what Jakub Jahl did. And believe me, they haven't forgotten. Think about it. If you're a normal, psychologically healthy person, would you take pleasure in causing others to suffer? Would you commit these kinds of atrocities? Even animals don't do this. But those who hide behind anti-cult activities, while actually spreading the extremist and terrorist-like ideology of Alexander Dvorkin, place this very behavior at the core of their work in order to achieve their goals. Fortunately, there's also something that has given us hope. And that's the fact that this network is now being discussed at a high level in the United States.
In May 2025, government and public officials gathered at a forum in Washington. With support from U.S. government circles, a clear demand was made to launch an international investigation into the anti-cult network, to prosecute its members, and to impose sanctions on all those who provide cover for this criminal activity, including experts and agents of influence within government structures. And we unequivocally support this call from Washington.
But what's the situation in Europe? We all remember the case of one prosecutor in Europe who stood up to defend the rights and freedoms of the people, who protected public safety and launched an investigation into this extremist network, including the predator we are talking about in this film. And what happened then? Within a few weeks, over 400 smear articles were published in the media. Articles with clear ideological ties to Dworkin's network. And the result? The general prosecutor of that same country, instead of upholding the law and democracy, shut down the entire investigation. He didn't side with the law. He sided with this network of maniacs. So, in effect, he enabled these sadists to continue their destructive activities freely, while punishing the one person who acted with integrity. And we see similar scenarios playing out in other countries. For instance, in Russia, the general prosecutor is initiating moves to label the Allatra organization as extremist. Or in Ukraine, where criminal prosecutions are being launched based on the fabricated reports of their agent, Kremenovska. And so I have to ask, what is motivating these prosecutors? Are they knowingly serving this network? Are they doing it out of fear? Or is someone blackmailing them? What's really going on here?
So, that's the truth about the network Jahl is a part of. But now, we're approaching the end of this documentary, and we want to dedicate this final part to Tatiana, a woman who truly deserves it. While Jahl was destroying things in Africa, she was genuinely helping. She wanted to fulfill a childhood dream, to build an orphanage. And yes, she succeeded, but she made one mistake. She trusted the wrong person, just like the Africans you heard from today.
During our 2-week investigation, we visited the places where Jahl had been. We walked around with his photo and asked about him literally everywhere we could. And we found out that there are far more people he harmed than we could possibly document in just 14 days. And yet, after fleeing, Jahl publicly claimed that Tatiana had taken over the orphanage and that he had been forced out of Africa. But in reality, she was the one who started the project, and it was her parents who financed it. And we have documents to prove it. Here you can see that the house and the entire project were never registered under Jahl's name. Jeffrey, the man Jahl attacked with a knife and who spent months handling permits and running between offices to get the orphanage officially established, gave us all the documentation. He did everything he could to make sure the orphanage could operate. And Jahl repaid him by trying to stab him in the back. Literally.
So this is the story of Jakub Jahl in Africa. And believe me, this still isn't everything. There are so many more details we could reveal in this investigative documentary. But I think we should end on a positive note, because those anti-cult activists who ruin lives and spread hatred, they're just a handful. But there are way more good people, those who save lives instead, those who bring care instead of violence. And that's why, at the end of this documentary, we also want to show you the orphanage that Tatiana continues to support to this day. It's a beautiful place where the children are truly happy, a place where they are cared for by people who genuinely love them. The orphanage was founded by a woman from Germany named Kerstin, a wonderful woman with her heart in the right place, and we were fortunate to spend some time there to be with the children. These kids are simply amazing. And yes, many of them have been through deeply tragic experiences. But this real orphanage gives them a chance to have a proper childhood. And while I was spending time with them there, it made the realization even more painful. The thought that some parasite exploited these vulnerable children so ruthlessly, using them for his vile and twisted goals.
Now you have the chance to compare the reality of Jahl with the reality of genuine projects. You can draw your own conclusions.
Tatiana is someone which are good people to kids. Yeah, I say in my heart, I can't lie to anyone, because this is the truth, and this is the life with us and the kids in the past. I'm talking here.
Tatiana was the nice girl who came here in Africa, in Tanzania, in Moshi, under the influence of Jakub and Martin. And the purpose was to come and just open the orphanage and help the kids. So this plan just came here, they came here and they started to do it together. And it is where we came to meet with them and knowing Tatiana. And what we saw there, Tatiana had a good heart, has a good heart because she confessed to her mom, and her mom just poured the money for buying the house. And we did that one by cooperating with us. And she was insisting us that this will be very nice program with you about the house and something like that. So I saw her like she was very excited to get the house and open an orphanage and taking care of the kids and everything. I saw his heart and love for the kids because also she had a plan to adopt one kid called Mary, and she loved the kids always. And when she sees them, he was like, wow, something like that. And she was asking every time, how can I adopt a kid here? And she showed the love at the orphanage. So she was a very nice person, but she fell under the wrong hands, Jakub and Martin, who used to manipulate her without knowing what was the purpose of these two guys.
Tatiana, mom, called you?
Yana.
Yana, yes. I remember that, mom.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good mom even. I can say to Tatiana, mom, she's a good mom. Mm-hmm. He participates in a lot of things. When he come here, Jakub tried to escape to her because they use a lot of money of Tanya. Tanya, mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Jakub tried to escape because Tanya, mom say, Jakub, when I come here, I need a list of that money which we send to you. When Jakub, that money, he go to spend with a gang, with somebody in town.
So when I arrived that first evening, they came to pick me up. And that's when the first conflict with Jakub started. I told him he should have already prepared the financial report.
She came with the information that he had embezzled around 2 million Czech crowns over the 2 to 3 years he was active in Africa. That money went directly into his pocket. And that was just from the transparent account. Plus, as I said, who knows how much more people were sending directly to his personal account.
He left. A moment later, he came back screaming. It's hard to even describe. We were all in shock. He shouted that Tanichka would go to prison just because, sometime before, she had helped a woman who had a bone infection, and she treated her wound.
I helped one lady who had a quite serious injury and an infected leg. So let's say I helped her a bit with a minor surgical procedure, just basic treatment that they don't know there. And after 5 or after 10 years, I think, from that lady's leg, they were finally able to remove the metal from her leg. So we saved her leg.
This one here, like what you see.
Yeah. Can you show one more time the picture?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Jakub was trying to stop Tatiana to help, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Jakub is who stopping Tatiana to helping this mom. Because she was like she was maybe also conflict with other people. She was say like Tatiana, she don't have a skill to help this mom.
And then he came saying that Tanichka would go to prison, that the Malengo boys were planning to attack her, that they would beat her up, that it would be better if they got to her before the police did, or that the woman was dying, had a high fever, and was full of pus. Honestly, you could have knocked me with a feather in that moment. There were other witnesses there too, including his volunteer, Katka. I was in complete shock. I didn't know whether to call a lawyer in Slovakia or book a ticket so Tanichka could leave. In the end, the boys who were helping us run the orphanage said they would go check what happened.
So I actually went there with my mom too. We came there and her son started normally bowing to my mom and thanking her. It was normal, like thank you for raising your daughter, because thanks to her, my mom can walk. So they thanked mom like that. She burst into complete tears, completely happy.
I sat down on the bed in that tiny hut and I cried like a little child. Her son thanked me on his knees, and the mother said I had raised a wonderful daughter, so I really had no idea what had snapped in Jakub's head. It was such a shock.
I really appreciate Tatiana for what she did for me. She helped me a lot. Every day she came and took care of me. I really appreciate that. And every day I pray for her to be blessed. She put bandages on my leg, cleaned my wound, I had a small injury there, and every day she washed it and took care of it for me.
And then I got angry, like he'd better not mess with me. I got up and left on my own, and later Tanya followed me back to the orphanage. Jakub just vanished. He left right before me. Someone picked him up in one of those rickshaws they had, and he was gone. He left Katka, the volunteer, there with us, and he took the card where the orphanage donations were being sent.
And when escape with money, as in Tatiana, me and Tatiana and Moses, we are going to search for him in the hotel there, several hotels. And at the end, we meet some sleepers in some hotels. And that waiter say, he left there in 5 minutes. He say he go to the airport. So he fly with the man of kids.
He simply needed to create some kind of drama so he could leave voluntarily and avoid confrontation, because he knew he would have to give me the financial report.
He fled the country. He never returned to that country afterwards.
He even recorded videos and started writing a book, saying that Tanichka is a liar, that we stole the orphanage from him, and I don't know what other nonsense. Meanwhile, he didn't put a single cent into it and didn't buy anything.
He downloaded some photo, like a white woman with 6 Africans, used my face and started spreading those things like I'm a thief and similar memes. And I should mention, even his mother was sharing those memes. So at least now we know who he probably inherited his mental state from. She commented under all my posts, under all my comments on Facebook, even under my regular photos, like just from a trip to Africa. So really everywhere. Then people from his cult started messaging me, saying I was a thief, claiming they had personal experiences with me. What experience? They had never seen me in real life. He really had a lot of devoted followers from that Satan's community of his.
I lived with Tatiana like 6 months in order to build this strong foundation. So I know how it. So Tatiana, she will be there and participate in a lot of things. To wash kids, to teach kids, to cook with kids, to play with the kids, and sometimes take kids to the other place in order to enjoy. For her money, because Jakub hold the whole money.
What I can say is that Tatiana was a nice girl who sacrificed by herself, and she shows her heart. She was helpful to the kids and something like that, but also she was supportive. She wanted to stand by the side of the kids and make the orphanage and just growing something big. She was also even asking about having more kids. How can we get the other kids and something like that one? Because she wanted to just help them. So I can see that Tatiana was a very nice girl who used her time, who used her mind to just create the orphanage here in Tanzania with a good will.
Hello, my name is Kerstin Schulze. I'm from Germany. In January 2020, I came here on a tour to Kilimanjaro. During the trip, I met Juma Jigwa. We only talked for about 10 minutes, but his phone number turned out to be the only contact from Tanzania that I had. A year later, I decided to get in touch with him and found out that he had already been helping homeless children and orphans in Tanzania for about 8 years. My dream had always been to become a grandma who could work in a children's center, reading stories to the kids or just helping out in other ways. But in Germany, I still had a long way to go before becoming a grandma, until the age of 67. So I thought I could return to Tanzania as a volunteer. The people here gave me so much, showing incredible kindness and warmth. And I wanted to give something back to this country. At that time, a migration crisis broke out in Europe, and many refugees came to Germany in search of a better life. That's when I had an idea to help children here in their own country get a good education, learn to live independently, and help develop their homeland. So I returned to Tanzania in December 2021 as a volunteer. Together with a group of 5 Tanzanians, we established an NGO. In mid-January 2022, I went back home and founded the association Upendo Mama Africa e.V. in Germany. In March, the team in Tanzania began their work. They found this beautiful piece of land, renovated the old house, and by summer, the first children had moved in. That was an incredible moment for me. But there was another significant event. At the end of May 2022, I was in a serious accident, broke my spine, and suffered nerve damage. The doctors diagnosed me with an incomplete paralysis and said I would soon end up in a wheelchair. I told my friends in Tanzania about it, and of course, they were a bit frightened. I didn't know if I would ever be able to return here. But the desire to continue developing this project gave me strength. The families of the 5 NGO members contributed and did so much that in 2022, we were able to start the project and take in 12 children. In May 2023, despite everything, I was able to return here for the first time since the accident. I was incredibly happy. I met the children, and it was amazing. Here, I feel at home.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We miss you, Tatiana. We miss you, Tatiana.
So now you've seen the final witness testimonies and the orphanage where the children are truly happy. I'd like to once again thank Tatiana because she is a courageous woman who chose to help instead of hate, and who, despite all the filth y'all tried to throw at her, remained a decent human being. I also want to thank Tatiana for introducing us to this orphanage and the many amazing people who work there, because this is a place where children not only have a roof over their heads, but also love, safety, and hope. It is a place where wounds, both physical and emotional, are healed, not inflicted. Because here, people help with their whole hearts, and they do so without cameras, without attention, and without any interest in fame. And that is the biggest difference between those who destroy and those who truly help.
To conclude our documentary, we would like to say that we stand by every single word and every sentence we've shared with you in this film. Because as participants of Allatra, we are people who have always stood and will always stand on the side of truth, freedom, and democracy. Today, we see how rapidly the world around us is changing. Nature behaves completely differently than it used to, and we, as human beings, are far more vulnerable than we realize. Tanzania showed us this vulnerability without any illusions. We saw how people live there and how easily they can lose everything when a natural disaster strikes.
That is precisely why we support the climate model and the proposed solutions brought forward by Allatra scientists. These are solutions that can restore the natural balance on our planet and ensure a dignified future for humanity. And yes, for many people, it may be easier to discredit someone than to take the time and verify that what Allatra scientists have been saying for over 10 years is actually happening. Right now, right before our eyes. We have a chance to stand strong in these times. We have a chance to take a step toward a new level of development for our civilization. And I believe it's worth doing something about it, which is why I'm truly glad that more and more people on a global level are starting to respond to the calls of Allatra scientists. Because today, there is no other scientific group in the world that would study the causes and solutions of geodynamic changes on our planet as comprehensively as they do.
Yet there are still people who spread slander instead of offering support. After the release of the first documentary, Satanist in Africa, Tatiana started receiving messages from a former Alatra member, Eva Hronova, a woman who fabricates stories, portrays herself as a victim, and publicly admires Jahl for his activities in Africa. In her messages, she also praises Dvorkin's agent, Kremenovska, a woman who, as we know, tortured dogs and then moved on to people. And Eva calls her a wonderful and honorable person. And Jahl, she says he is doing truly good work, and she thanks him for everything he has done in Africa. So draw your own conclusions about these people. The fact remains that any reasonable person stands on the side of children and the future. But people like Dvorkin in Russia, Kremenovska and Sviatogor in Ukraine, Ross and Hassan in the USA, Jahl in the Czech Republic, and other activists of the anti-cult network bring pain and suffering to children. That is why such extremists cannot be tolerated by society. Because their ideology, known as anti-cultism, is every bit as destructive as Nazism and should therefore be banned worldwide. And that is why we fully support the demand made at the Washington Forum.
And as we already said today, although the story of Jakub Jahl in Africa is absolutely appalling, this documentary deserves a positive ending. And for me, that ending is a reminder of how important it is to never lose faith in people. Because even though there is so much evil and pain in the world, even though there are parasites who feed on the suffering of others, there are still people who bring humanity and care for others into this world. People who don't look for someone to blame, but look for solutions. People who don't wait for someone else to fix things, but they start with themselves. And it is precisely these people who today represent the greatest hope for the future of our civilization. Each of us has a choice to make, to stay silent or to speak up, to turn a blind eye to evil or to stand up against it, to destroy or to help. And we have made our choice. We stand on the side of truth, on the side of life. And we will never back down.